going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well out there. Today we're going to go live with Alyssa Maris of Raw Food Romance. We're going to talk about the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. So I hope you guys have been hearing about that. It's an extremely, really good deal. We've got over $3,200 worth of brand new, never before seen ebooks and courses and meal plans. A lot of great stuff in there. And so under $1 a piece when you buy it in the bundle. So that is $50 for the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. And yeah, it is full of some amazing content. So Alyssa looks like she is here. So I'm going to bring her into the conversation here. Hey!
Hey, how's it going?
It is going great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Busy with all these lives. I cannot believe how many lives are scheduled. It's awesome. So awesome.
For sure.
If people want to see who else is live with who, check out the link in Matt's bio or in my bio, and then click on live events schedule. You'll be able to see all the lives. There's like over, I think when I counted last time, there was like 232 lives.
Holy cow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So much content for everybody.
Right. Yep. I know. Fun stuff. So what has been the highlight so far for you?
Honestly, I would have to say the fact that absolutely everything is brand new. Like, mind blowing that we all got together and we all were thinking of contributing something brand new to this bundle. So we can guarantee that nobody has anything that's in this bundle. It's like brand new. Yeah, everyone's releasing all their new ebooks in this bundle. It's once in a blue moon kind of a sale, right?
Right.
So that's my favorite thing. And I love that everybody created something, right? Like creation is such a beautiful thing, and coming up with new recipes and new ideas and new book, like topics to help people to include more raw food or all raw food in their diets, because it's something that's really needed. And we like fresh ideas, right? You know, we have our old favorites, but it's also awesome to try new things too. Like I've had some epic meals in the last week or so, and I'm excited to make a bunch of new stuff. Like really excited.
Right. I mean, 1,000 new recipes, more than 1,000 new recipes for people to try. So, I mean, if people think that, you know, they're not going to know what to make if they try and go raw, I mean, this is the perfect package for them, because you're getting all the education plus an enormous amount of recipes. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is so crazy. Totally. And also another thing that I love about this bundle is the exclusive holiday ebook.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And this holiday ebook, there's over 40 of us that contributed recipes for this book, and it's exclusive. It's a collector's edition, and it's only available in the bundle. It's 63 holiday themed recipes. So it's all our like best of the best favorite holiday recipes in the collector's edition book that's only available in the bundle. So head over to the link and get the bundle. Go check out Matt's page, Raw Intuition, and grab the bundle from his link and enjoy. Like there's so much.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I got to give it to you or whoever it was that came up with that idea to have that collaboration book. That's an awesome idea.
Thank you. Yeah, that was my idea. I was like, we need something super special. And I thought a holiday book is really good because many people celebrate. Not everyone celebrates, and you can use the recipes for an epic dinner anyways. But for those that do celebrate and go to friends and family's houses and stuff, there's so many delicious recipes in there, really unique. My Christmas quiche recipe is in there, and everyone always asks for that. And I was like, what better place to put it than in this collector's edition book.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I designed the whole thing. Everyone gave me their recipes and their photos, and I designed it all. So
Yeah.
it's a work of heart, and we're really happy to have it in the bundle.
Yeah, for sure. It looks amazing. So I'm excited to make a lot of those recipes too.
Nice, nice, nice. It's going to be a tasty holiday season.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and speaking of that, your book in the bundle, it is called Party Food.
Party Food.
Yes. Yep. A collection of 50 raw vegan recipes to make for the gathering of loved ones. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah, this book is one of my favorites that I've made, aside from the burger book. Burger book obviously was my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one was good. But the party food one is fun because it's all about fun, right?
Yeah.
You get to get really creative, and you can make all these really fun finger foods that you can take to parties, to gatherings, you know, anything that you want to take it to. Or you can even make them as snacks for yourself if you want to, right?
Right.
One of my favorite, I think my favorite recipes in there would be by far the green onion cakes, because growing up in Canada, we, for some reason, I don't know why people are like green onion cakes and Canadians. For some reason, I don't know. But green onion cakes were a big part of my childhood. My parents would get them often for us. So I really, really love green onion cakes. And I discovered a way to make them with Irish moss, the gel. And they're so good. So good with a nice like coconut amino sour dip kind of.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh, delicious. Wow. But I also really like the pepper nori sticks, which is it's like pepperoni flavored filling, and you roll it in nori. So you would cut a nori sheet into 4. So you have 4 and just put a little bit of the filling in, and then you roll it up and you dehydrate them for like 12 to 20 hours. And you got little pepper nori sticks, and they are so bomb. They're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 50 recipes in there, and they're all my favorites. But those are the 2 that stand out right away that I would make right now.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be something that people worry about, is going to parties and social gatherings when they're raw. So yeah, I love that you have all these super, like, you know, attractive and just like unique recipes that people can bring with them and share, and they're exciting recipes, you know, like people wouldn't think raw food could be this fun, you know. And so sharing that with people is such a great way to bring them, you know, introduce them to the lifestyle, and, you know, just give them a taste of what is possible with raw food.
Exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't always have to be confusing and a lot of work, right? It's just like cooked food, right? When I was eating cooked food, there were times where I would make something really simple, and there were other times where I would get like 4 hours in the kitchen working on one meal, right? So it doesn't matter whether you eat cooked or raw. It depends on what you're making. If you want to make something intricate, go ahead. If you want to make something simple, go ahead. Like this smoothie I made between lives. Nate made it, actually. Made it between lives. And it was like, what, 5 minutes maybe, right? To fuel yourself. But if you want to get creative, sometimes it takes a little more planning. You got to do things in advance, but it's worth it, especially if you're going to be making something to take to a family gathering. You really want to wow them. You'd be like, yeah, that's raw. It's raw. It's vegan. And it's delicious.
Yeah, that's so cool. Wow. So, what is your tips for, you know, people that are a little anxious about the raw lifestyle and their social situations? Do you have any experience or tips that have helped you with, you know, being in social situations as a raw vegan?
Yeah. So I find that when I first started, obviously everyone's going to go through this with their friends and family, is that someone's going to say something, right? They're always going to say something, and you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it, because we've lived so many years eating the same things and everyone does the same stuff that as soon as you make a different choice, you are now a mirror. So you're a mirror to what everyone else is doing. And when they see what you're doing, it's not you that they're attacking or making fun of or whatever they're going to say to you. It's not you. It's the choice. And the choice is a mirror reflecting back their choice on them. And they see you eat a salad and they look at their own plate and they're like, it conflicts. Like, it's kind of like there's like warning bells going off. It's like, you have to say something because they may subconsciously feel bad about what they're eating. And you're like, obviously we're not trying to make people feel bad by choosing a salad. They feel bad because they know they should maybe do better or what have you. But I found there's 4 types of people. When you go raw in the social situations, there's 4 types of people that you're going to encounter. You're going to encounter the truth seeker, who's actually going to ask you questions and want to know and be really interested. And those are the best ones. Those are the ones we want.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, there's the 3 other ones. There's the joker. So the joker, when you choose a salad, they see the salad, and in order to protect their belief, they make fun. They do jokes. They say, but bacon, or whatever they're going to say, right? They're going to make jokes as comic relief to justify their own choices or to make them feel better about their own choices. Then you get the bully, who is going to actually like gaslight you, make you feel bad, say that, you know, like if you said no to your uncle's Christmas ham or something, and he was like, say something like, you're the outcast of the family, or like, you know, they're going to bully you into it. But the reason and we all know that bullies bully because they're insecure, they're not confident in their own choices, they question their own, but then it's all subconscious. It's not like they do this out of, you know, like they're trying to make fun of you, they're trying to bully you, they're doing it as a defense mechanism for their own choices. So there's the bully, and then there's the debater, who's going to debate absolutely everything you say. And it can be exhausting, right? You're dealing with that. And even though they might agree with something you say, they're always going to take the opposite side and say, but what if? But what if, right? And they debate because it boils down to the same thing as all the other ones. It's a mirror, and they're trying to justify their own choices. They don't like what you're choosing, and they're fearful of changing themselves, right? And they haven't even thought of going vegan or going raw. They haven't even, maybe they have, but they're not ready to do it yet. So they're trying to protect their own choices by debating, by bullying, by joking. And then you get the ones that we love, who are actually asking good questions. But of course we love them all, and that brings me to the second part of my answer to this long answer. The second part would be, no matter who the person is, whether they are the truth seeker, the bully, the joker, or the debater, is to always shower them with love. Because if they're joking, obviously the jokes aren't funny, because we've heard them all before and they're not funny, even though they think they're funny. It's like, I've heard this 1,000 times. It's not funny, right? But to change, I like to change the subject. I try not to laugh at the jokes because that just reinforces the fact that it's funny. So I would just immediately change the subject, maybe put my arm around them and be like, so how was the weekend with so-and-so? Or like, I really love this shirt, right? Like, totally change the subject, but do it with love, because that is ultimately what all of them are feeling is fear. And the opposite of fear is love. So if you shower them with love, then it diffuses it, right? And then another thing is like with the joker, so you're gonna laugh with, like, change the subject. With the bully, you could totally change the subject as well and compliment them. Compliment them on something else, and just like totally deflect. Don't even pretend that they said anything. Totally deflect. Like, you could just say they're at the kitchen stove and they're like doing their soup or something, and you notice on the counter there's a new toaster oven or whatever. Like you have to like be aware of your surroundings. But like if they say something bullying to you, you could be like, hey, did you get a new oven or something? Like totally change the subject, give them a hug again. And then obviously the debater, you could just say like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Like I was wondering how was your weekend or something. Like change the subject with love, and also ask questions back. Like if you feel like getting into the debate, the person who's asking the questions is always in control of the conversation. So if you can ask them a question back, then you can control the conversation. So if they say like, well, I heard that you can't get enough protein on a raw diet, you could say like, well, what would you say, where do you think I'm getting my protein? Like if you could guess, where do you think I'm getting my protein? It forces them to think of the answer instead of getting it from you, right? And then you can further educate on that fact. So yeah, definitely ask questions, because people love talking about themselves, and they're more apt to answer a question. And that's the Socratic Method, which works really well at controlling conversations. And it's not like you're trying to control and manipulate, but you're trying to deflect and actually help them to think of the answer on their own.
Right.
So yeah, that would be the long answer to your question.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Definitely, yeah, the Socratic Method works so well, just from personal experience. It's just, it just gets them to really analyze what they're asking you and why they're asking you, and why they have that feeling within themselves, why they're, having the beliefs that they have. It makes them question it themselves rather than us telling them the answer. They can kind of figure out the answer on their own. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's definitely powerful. And I like what you said about how they're feeling, because you can also use the question to ask like, well, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about me choosing a raw salad? Right? And to really get down to the deep root of why they are making fun of you or why they're bullying you. Be like, why do you feel that that's funny? Right? And they'll be like, well, it is. But like, why do you feel it's funny? Why do you think I would laugh at that? Right? And asking them questions that they're forced to answer, they're going to change the subject on their own, right? They're not going to want to ask.
Exactly. Yeah. So I see that you and Nate have gotten into vacuum blending. And so I've been vacuum blending for a little while as well, and I love it. What are your thoughts on vacuum blending?
Oh my gosh. I wish it's like veganism. I wish I did it sooner.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way.
Right. I wish I started sooner. I knew about it about 2 years ago was when I first heard about vacuum blending. But I was like, I already have a blender. I don't want to invest in another one. I don't know. It's fine. Like, you sweep it under the rug and you're like, I'll think about that later. And then when we moved here to Vegas, we hooked up with John Kohler, and we've since become great friends, and we go for hikes often and stuff.
Cool.
And he was just talking about the vacuum blender. And over the last 2 years, I've been like, yeah, maybe late. I'll get it one day, right? Yeah. Because I did want it, but it was never a priority to get. So then he's like going off talking about it one day when we were hiking. Yeah. And I was like, this is the straw, right? We need to get it. We need to get it. So I just ordered it from him. And it doesn't matter what vacuum blender you get. We have the BioChef that fits on the Vitamix, the classic base. But you can get other vacuum blenders. It really doesn't matter. The whole point is to vacuum blend whatever way you can. But since getting that, it's a game changer, legit. Yeah. The flavor is more intense. The texture is so much better. The color is more vibrant. There's more nutrition because you're not oxidizing. You're not blending a bunch of air into it. There's hardly any bubbles. There might be a few, but so many less bubbles. And I would have to say the biggest change that we've experienced, and we haven't changed our diet, so there's no like food combining or anything that we changed at all. We're eating the exact same things that we've always eaten, but any excess air has decreased dramatically, like gas, like just gassy air, right? It's normal. If you're swallowing a bunch of air, it's gonna go somewhere, right?
Right, exactly.
And it had nothing to do with our food. It had nothing to do with food combining. It was nothing to do with anything like that. Like people might be like, oh, well, you have extra gas because you're raw. But it's not that. It's because we were swallowing a lot of air. Like if you have a smoothie, John and I did a comparison video where we blended one with the regular blender and then another one with the vacuum. And when you vacuum seal it and you suck all the air out, there was like this much or more. We had to stop the seal because it was sucking up so much air that was in the smoothie.
Right.
So you're drinking all of this air, and it's causing digestive upset for many people. And they're like, well, I have so many digestive issues when I'm drinking a lot of smoothies and having a lot of salads with the blended dressing. Why do I have so much gas? And it's probably not the food choices that they're eating. It could just be as simple as that they're drinking a lot of air, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my favorite thing, for sure.
I've got one here. It's got water spots on it, so it looks dirty, but it's not. And so this one, I ordered this one. It's called I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's
is that the same one that Chris has?
I think so, yeah. So I got this back because John Kohler made a video about this company that was selling these, I think it was on eBay, because they were going out of business and they were just like selling out the rest of their supply. So I got 2 of them for $55 each, which is a crazy good deal. And I love it. I do love it. But I'm actually going to get the one that you have, I think, because this one, while it's nice and it does the job, I mean, it makes the smoothies so smooth, and the flavor is just so much more intense, and the color is beautiful. But there's like in the bottom, the food gets stuck. There's like a little gap at the bottom where the food can get stuck. So it gets kind of nasty down there. So, but other than that, I love it. And so I'm going to get the one that you have so that I don't have to deal with that anymore.
Right.
But,
I find the one that we have has, it has those 4 blades, the same ones,
Yep.
but then it has 2 other blades that are in the center that are up like this.
Oh,
so
nice.
when they blend, they like suck everything in really well.
Yeah.
And the only downside that I found to the vacuum blending is that you have to know how much water you're going to put in. Because if you need to add water, you have to take the seal off and like re-vacuum it and everything. Yeah. But the blades are so strong that you typically don't need to add extra water if you think you do. Like if you were blending in a regular blender, I'd be like, oh, I would so add more water. Yeah. But the blades in the BioChef are so good at pulling everything down that you don't need to add extra water. So
nice.
Yeah, it is really, really, really nice. I love the BioChef. And if you have a classic Vitamix base, totally worth it. And some people have like the brand new Vitamixes with the sensor detect.
Yeah,
and it doesn't
it's
work
like
on
magnetic.
Those. Yeah.
Yep.
It doesn't work on those. But if you really wanted to do the vacuum blending, you could actually go on like Craigslist or Marketplace or something and find a used old Vitamix base and then just buy the new BioChef. Because the BioChef attachment kit is the jug with the lid and the vacuum. And that's all you need. As long as you have a base, you're good to go. You're good to go.
Sweet. Yeah. So just in case people don't understand how it works, so there's on the one that I have anyways, and I'm sure it's the same with the one that you've got. There's a little flap here. It's like a rubber flap, and so you fill your jug, and then it's got rubber along the sides on the edge here, and it just sucks. Oops! Whoa! It's a tripod. It just seals that, and then the machine sucks the air out of here. And so you no longer have extra air sitting inside of your container, and then it blends without all that extra oxygen where it's oxidizing and just like aerating it. And so yeah, it's amazing. And like Lissa said, when you release the air, you see the level of the the contents inside really suck down, or no, it sucks up actually.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it's really interesting to see. It's such an interesting concept. And I was talking to somebody else the other day about this and how we tend to want to go back to the way our ancestors were. And that's like a lovely concept and stuff, but our ancestors did everything out of survival.
Right.
And they did, like, some fared better than others, and we can look back at what they did and then improve upon it. And we improved upon it by creating blenders so that we could be creative with our food. But now this is like next level. Nate likes to say it's like starting with a cheap $30 blender from Walmart, moving to the Vitamix is the same as moving from a Vitamix to a vacuum blender. Like, it's the same jump worth.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Yep. And it's hard to really understand the difference until you actually experience it. You know, like, you can hear it and yeah, it sounds good, but once you actually have a smoothie or a dressing or a sauce made with under vacuum, I mean, you can just taste it and feel it. It's a whole different experience.
It really is. I feel like you can taste the food for what it is.
Right.
And it's like you're not tasting a bunch of air. And I feel like smoothies are some of the best in a vacuum blender. Like, we've blended a lot of dressings, and yes, they taste better, they're creamier, that kind of thing. But if I was to compare, smoothies are the most dramatic difference between vacuum and regular blended, because I feel like when you blend fruit, it's a lot easier to blend a lot of air in, and it gets really frothy and foamy. And then you're drinking it, and you're drinking like a lot of air, and so you don't get to taste the realness of the fruit, right? But when you blend under vacuum, you get all the fruit and hardly any air, if any. Yeah, smoothies by far are the best.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I was glad to see you guys getting into that, because I think, you know, more people need to know about it. And I hope, you know, companies more companies start implementing vacuum technology into their blenders. So that'd be awesome.
I agree. I know Vitamix needs to up its game and get its own vacuum on there, because once you go vacuum, you don't want to use any other blender ever again. Right? Like, you're just like, I can't. I just can't go back. Nate wants to buy a second BioChef just to have it as backup, because you never know.
Yeah, right. That's true. That's probably not a bad idea. And plus, then you can have one that you take traveling, and you can leave one at home, you know.
Yeah, so totally. And I guess the second downside would be that you can't make nice cream in it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Because you don't have the tamper?
Yeah, because you can't tamper under vacuum, because it has to stay sealed, right? So that would be the only thing that we blend that's not under vacuum. Sure. So, but aside from that, I mean, it's real.
Yeah. Even if you only used it for smoothies, I would say it's well worth it. You know, I would still highly recommend anybody get that that addition to the Vitamix space if that's what you have, or, you know, I think on John's website he's got different options that people can buy.
Yeah, John's website's got like so much stuff. I can't believe it. It's great.
Yeah.
We got Lissa. What's the name of the vacuum seal blender that you have? We use the BioChef, and you can get it from John Kohler's website, discountjuicers.com. And it's $180. He ships to the US. If you're in another country, like I know that there's some people who've found it in the UK. I'm not sure about Canada, but honestly, it doesn't matter what vacuum blender you get as long as it's a vacuum blender. So I would just get on Amazon, search vacuum blender, and grab whatever looks good, whatever resonates with you, and start vacuum blending, because it's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And we have another question. What are dehydrators important to have in the kitchen when raw? This is a great question, because dehydrators aren't necessary, but they're fun. So it really depends on what you want to make, because the party food book most of the recipes use a dehydrator, because in order to get certain textures, certain results like wraps or the little taco cups, you have to dry them. And in order to dry them, you need a dehydrator. You could use like a solar oven as long as it doesn't go over 115 degrees. But I think a dehydrator is more fun, just not necessary. Like you can still do raw without one, for sure.
For sure. Yeah. I completely agree. Yep. It's nice to have one. Like it really made a big difference for me, just giving me more variety of options for certain things. But I mean, I didn't have one for at least a couple months. I don't remember exactly when I got one, but I just know that I was doing fine without it. But when I got it, it was a really nice upgrade.
Yeah, nice upgrade. I like that. It's a nice upgrade. Yeah, because you can make, like I said, different textures. You can make wraps. You can make kale chips. You can condense sauces. You can marinate veggies. Like there's so many things that you can do with the dehydrator that are really fun. But you can still do raw, just like salads and sauces. I would say, I'm sure you'd agree with me that the number one appliance is a vacuum blender.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. If I could have started off with a vacuum blender, I'd probably be like 20 years younger right now.
Right? Yeah, vacuum blending. It's the secret of youth. No.
It is. I think it is.
Oh man, yeah, vacuum blending is so fun. Oh my. Yeah. So let's share a little bit about your book. Talk a little bit about your book, because I wanna know more from you.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I mean so my book is called 5-Star Digestion. Digestion is literally the most common thing when I work with people. Almost everybody has some sort of digestive issue that's bothering them. Some people it's minor things, other people it's a little more serious. And so I just decided I would come up with a book that kind of put all the things that I have learned over the last 10 years or so, and things that have helped me and things that have helped the people. Oh, there's Jack.
Love it.
Yeah. Just the basic principles that I have found that are really important for gut health, for improving the status of our microbiome, and the things for it's one thing to do the things you have to bring in the good gut bacteria, but then it's another thing to do pay attention to the lifestyle and environmental factors that help to keep the bacteria there. And also when they're there, those things can help improve, the power that they have to benefit us, and to help them diversify. And so I kind of took a lot of different approaches and kind of put them all into one little book. And so it's really, I think one of the main things that I hope people take away from it is to eat in a way that promotes or supports all 4 phases of the digestive process. So when we eat food, the digestive process is essentially reduction. So we chew and we have to break it down either mechanically in our mouth or enzymatically, chemical wise, through our digestive fluids. And so we want to eat in a way that supports that, and that's going to be like high enzyme foods. You want to keep the foods raw because they got those raw enzymes in there that's going to help us break down and digest the food. And then we want to make sure we're eating in a way that helps with absorption. So we want to make sure our digestive tract is nice and smooth, and it's not inflamed, and it's not all overly mucousy, and we're able to absorb everything as we should. So we want to make sure we're hydrated, we're keeping things moving with high fiber foods, low fat foods for the majority of the time. Those things help keep things moving, and they keep the integrity of our digestive tract top notch. And so I like to, in the book, I refer to the digestive tract as our digestive highway. So it's like a 1-lane it's like a 30-foot or so one-lane highway is what I call it. And then the foods that we eat, they travel down our one-lane highway like little automobiles, and eating like super high water content foods like fruits, especially like watermelon, that would be like a race car. So it goes really fast, doesn't take a lot of digestion. So they travel pretty quickly through the digestive system. Things like more dense vegetables like carrots, root vegetables, things like that, there would be like a minivan. And so in the book, I call it a carrot van. So kind of like minivan, but carrot van. And then like the even more dense things like fatty foods, nuts and seeds, things like that. That's kind of like a horse and carrot. Or no, that's not a horse. That's the trolley bus. So
the trolley bus.
Yeah. So that's like a trolley bus. And then like animal products and processed foods, which I don't recommend anybody eats. But if somebody did, that would be like a horse and carriage going down the, just really slow. So, so I was trying to give people a visual of the speed of how fast they move through the digestive system. And then to finish out the digestive process, utilization, we want to make sure, again, low fat, because that's going to make sure that our insulin sensitivity is good. Everything is working smoothly. It's not dehydrating us from, really high fat foods that are low in water content. And then elimination. So you want to make sure you're eating in a way that promotes proper elimination. Again, high water content foods, high fiber foods, high antioxidants, and we do lifestyle factors as well, like exercise and deep breathing if we need to, and things like that. So
yeah. Oh man, see, your book is brilliant. I love that idea of the highway. Oh yeah. Man, I've heard various kind of analogies of that, and yours is definitely one of my favorites.
Oh well, thank you.
Never thought of it that way.
And so there's things that people do in their daily lives that I call just risk factors for indigestion, and things that damage our gut and our intestinal tract. And so I list them out in the book, and I kind of give people the idea that the more risk factors that you have, it's like each risk factor can create its own pothole in your highway. And so if somebody's doing something, one or two of these things, if you're driving down the highway and there's like one pothole in the road, you can easily swerve around that, no issues, you don't even hardly notice it. But if you've got a road with like just full of potholes, if you've got a bunch of these risk factors in your life, and your highway is just covered in potholes, it's going to be a bumpy ride, right? You're not going to have a pleasant experience. And so that, translates over to our digestion, where that's where people have really, severe digestive issues that give them problems. And so the more they can reduce the risk factors for indigestion and damage to our microbiome and all those sorts of things, if they can reduce those things and then implement some of the principles from the book, that's when people can start to have really good results.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I know. And people think too, like, it's not just about diet, but I love how you incorporate the mechanics of it, right? Chewing, walking after meals, not talking while you're eating, don't drink while you eat, like vacuum blending, for example. Like all of these have nothing to do with diet, but they're all the mechanics, because there's so many different ways that our body goes through for the digestion process. And it's not just about the food, but it's about everything else in combination. Somebody was asking about, do fats take water away from normal digestion? I'll let you answer in a sec, but really quick, I wanted to say that dried fats like nuts and seeds are going to take water away because they're dry, right? I mean, have you ever had a raw almond? like a
Oh
real
yeah.
raw almond. Yeah, they have the same texture as a grape,
Yeah. Oh, no,
right?
actually, I take that back. I haven't
Okay.
had like a super probably fresh almond.
Yeah, like actually from like you pick the fruit and then you open it and then you eat
Yeah.
the almond. Yeah, it has the same texture as a grape.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, super hydrating. But the thing is, in order to sell them in the stores,
Yep.
they have to be completely 100% dried. Otherwise, they would rot and go bad, right?
Right.
They'd
Right.
be considered a fresh produce item, but they're not. They're bulk. They sit around for years. They get rancid, right? And
Yep.
these foods, kale chips, and if you're eating a little bit of dried foods like dried fruit or kale chips or whatever,
Yep.
as long as you're eating an abundance of high water content foods, it's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But you're eating too many of them, and yes, it is going to steal digestion.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the more low water content foods that we eat, we displace the high water content foods that we could be eating.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one way that it could reduce the water content of your diet, is when you're replacing more of the fresh, the really hydrating foods with more dried fatty foods, or just things like that. So it's not like a black or white thing. You can kind of go along the spectrum of what how much fat that you're consuming. In the book, I recommend, and what works best for me and most people that I've worked with, somewhere between 10 and 20% of their calories coming from fat. Usually more towards the lower end of that, but you just kind of have to see what works best for you, and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with that. Yeah, I do best between 8 and 12%.
Okay.
So, and then there's some days where Nate and I will do like 18%, right?
Right.
But you
Yeah.
can tell when you eat
yeah.
too many fats because you get a little tired.
Yep.
You might crave more fats.
Might have some skin issues if you eat a lot of fat for consecutive days. I might like get a little pimple or something like that. So
Yep, for sure. Yeah, and that's how you know, right? You can kind of, like you said, you have to kind of play it and try different percentages and track.
Yep.
Like people don't track. I don't know about you, but I'm sure that you get this. But I would say the vast majority of the people that I coach aren't eating enough.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's a very common issue that I come across with working with people as well. Is people are so used to eating really condensed high calorie foods from just a regular diet,
and smaller portions too.
Smaller portion. Because they're packed more with calories, so they don't need to eat as much to get that quantity of calories. So people they're just used to eating these condensed foods, and when they switch over to high water, high fiber foods, they feel full for a little bit because they expand their stomach, but it was probably like 300 calories or something like that.
Right, and all those race cars are going so fast down the hallway.
The race cars just zoom through, and they wonder where their meal went. So
Yep, and then they're hungry a half hour later, and they're like, "Why am I always hungry on raw?" You need to eat. You need to eat more.
Exactly, for sure.
Yep. But your book is amazing. I am so excited to dive in further because I mean, when you download the bundle, there's 55. So you could technically download the bundle and you could read one new book a week.
Yep.
And you would have a new book to read every week for a year.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're all brand new. Or you could do two and do half a year. You know, by the time the next bundle comes, right?
Yep, exactly.
And try new recipes. You could have a brand new recipe every day for 3 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So for $50.
Yeah.
Got to go to the link in Matt's bio, or in mine if you want.
Or
but go to Raw Intuition and grab the bundle because there's so many good goodies in there. So many. Sure. Yeah,
I'm so impressed by everybody, just the creativity and really just the passion that people put into their products and their tools for helping people. You know, I mean, these bundles they just highlight the you know, the special things that these people have to offer, and they're so helpful for people and inspiring. And so that's why I just love being a part of this.
Oh, well, we love having you. Totally. I love seeing what you come up with, like the 5-star salads.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I was like, this is brilliant. I love seeing, like you, I love seeing all the different creations, like whatever's in someone's mind. I'm so glad that we do the bundles, because it lights a fire under people, and then they're like, they want to create for it. They want to provide solutions and share their story in different ways, share their creativity, and it's a beautiful thing. And if people want to support Matt, if they want to support anyone in the bundle, go to the link in their bio and grab the bundle.
Yep.
Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Yeah.
For sure. All right. Let's see. Were there any other questions?
For the vacuum blending, is the lack of tamper a big trade-off? I have a Ninja blender and I want to upgrade to Vitamix or vacuum. I would honestly, I would upgrade to vacuum. If you can make nice cream in your Ninja, keep the Ninja for the nice cream.
Yeah. And
then blend everything else in the vacuum. 100% vacuum blender. You can get an old Vitamix base, like an old school one, a classic series, and then just buy the BioChef jug and vacuum. And then you've got yourself a vacuum blender that is less than a brand new Vitamix.
Right.
And it's going to be way healthier too.
Yep.
100%.
Yep. Agreed.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, I have another live at 3, so in 11 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I can let you get ready for that.
Cool.
But thank you for joining me today and talking about your book and the bundle and vacuum blending and all the you know, great things that you got going on.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your creativity with us here at the bundle. We are so blessed to have you as part, and your voice, and thank you for just being you, because you're awesome. I mean, I've known you for, like, how long has it been now? Like 7 years?
I know. Yeah, we did an interview. I feel, I can't remember when it was, but it was like probably 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, long time ago.
I don't remember for sure, but yeah.
Yeah, one of my first interviews was with you.
Oh, really?
So cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool. I'm glad everyone loved it. Yeah, the fantastic live stream. This live stream will be saved on Matt's Instagram, so Raw Intuition. And I will probably download it and put it on YouTube.
Cool.
Tag ya.
Yeah. Awesome.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yep. Okay. Well, I will see you around, and thank you everybody else for joining us. Just keep an eye open. Everybody's going to be going live here. You know, Lissa's got one, so hop over to her page. And who are you going live with next?
Lexi from Healthy Dynamic Life.
Nice. That'll be a good one.
That's going to be a party. She's like she is so energetic. I know.
Yep. She is.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. Well, enjoy your interview with Lexi, and we will see everybody else. You know, just click on any of the lives that are going on, because they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. Yeah. Hang out.
Yep.
Much love.
All right. See you guys.